Hello G-Fans, Bobcat here. Good morning. So, this video is going to be about my experience at my very first G-Fest this year. I know that's kind of long overdue, and I haven't been able to make this video for a long time just for a lot of reasons. So, I'm sorry I've been late. I haven't forgotten about you guys, I promise. Okay, so, the cat. So this is my very first G-Fest that I've ever been to, and it was this year was the same weekend as my birthday. I turned 21, so wow, G-Fest was just awesome, just awesome. I mean, my, I mean, it was much better than I expected it to be, and I hope to go to one in the future. So this right here is my G-Fest haul. Well, some of that's my brother's actually, but some of that's mine. Okay, so at G-Fest, my originally on our way there, my dad and I kind of expected G-Fest to be kind of just some cosplay that's kind of awkward and really nerdy, and with basically a bunch of 10 to 12-year-olds. Yeah, we kind of expected it to be kind of, just kind of childish, but it was actually family friendly. Like, I felt very comfortable there. It didn't feel like overly nerdy. I didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel awkward at all, which is much better than I thought it'd be. There were young kids there, and there were elderly people there too, which I think it just kind of helped warm the ice, kind of melt the ice between everyone, and it made it more entertaining. It was also very informational. Informational. There were a couple of actors there. One of them was a Japanese actor from the first few Godzilla films, and I'm sorry I cannot remember Japanese names worth a darn. I'm sorry. The other there was also an actress there from Godzilla or King Kong Escapes. Alright, is the star actress. And I can't remember her name either. I'm sorry, but anyway, I got to talk to each of them, and I got to take some pictures with the Japanese guy. It was, and there were some like other discussion rooms, like the making of this movie and that movie, and just a lot. It was a lot of informational stuff, and so and there was also a game room where we got to play Godzilla games. There were a couple arcades. There were also well, and a couple of console games like Godzilla Saves the Earth, Godzilla Unleashed, a few others. So, and the game room was pretty nice. I went to the free play time. I didn't do the tournament. I was just like, eh. Because the tournament was like 5 hours long, and I'm just like, eh. I got stuff to look at. I got stuff to do in 5 hours. So, but I got to go to the food play. Um, there's like a really nice costume parade. One of the costumes, it was a fan-made kaiju called G-Fantis. G-Fan, and then add TIS, and then like Gigantus. So I wish I had a picture of. Well, I wish I had a photo of G-Fantis to show you guys, but it's okay. But here was the program from G-Fest. All right, and so oh never mind. Anyway, so it was really fun, really fun. And I really, ooh, that's the guy. That was the actor, Akira Takarada. All right, his first big role was in Gojira, 1954, and he starred in 4 more Godzilla films after that. All right, so, and oh, and he came back as a U.S. Secretary General in Godzilla Final Wars. He was also in King Kong Escapes and a few other monster movies. So I mean, he got around, and we got to talk to him, and that was really really awesome. So, um, oh, and my favorite place at G-Fest was the dealer's room. It basically had all of these Godzilla products, movies, figures, and comic books, T-shirts, Godzilla merchandise galore. I mean, and they were really good at making bargains and deals. Um, and I mean, many many of the tables, the price tags were negotiable. So, and some of them weren't, but some of them were. One of the tables were had sculptures of kind of, how do I say it, either unused kaiju or video game kaiju, like Crystalak, Obsidius. It also had the 90s version of Anguirus, which Anguirus was not used in the Heijai series. But he had a sculpture of what Anguirus would have looked like if he had appeared in the films that Toho intended on using him in. So, and he didn't have it with him this year, but I've seen pictures on Facebook of him having a sculpture of Bagan from Super Godzilla, and I will actually get to him in a moment, and you'll, um, so, and, I think he also had one of Wolfman, which he didn't appear in anything. He was supposed to appear in a movie, but he didn't get to be in it. But anyway, it was it was just, oh, and there are also several little sessions. There was one session about how to make a Godzilla YouTube video. And that was really entertaining. You know, my brother used to have well, he still has a channel. He hasn't posted anything lately, but he uh he he was really into that. You know how sometimes they make videos of like stop motion with like monster figures. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was about. So anyway, well, let's get to the fun stuff. So the G-Fest Hall. Okay, so for my birthday, my grandma knew I was going to the Godzilla festival, and so she got me a couple of badges: the original King Kong and the new Godzilla's Resurgence, or Shin Gojira. She knew we were going to Godzilla Fest, and she also knew that I really loved King Kong. I feel like I feel like the gorilla is just my spirit animal. With a little bit of Godzilla in there too. So, um, so she got me these 2 badges in a little envelope. She sent me a letter for happy birthday and sent these with me in the envelope. And so now it adds to my collection of badges. See? Godzilla 2014. So now I have 4 badges. Okay, so I'll move on to the stuff that my brother got, and then I'll go back to my stuff, okay? So here is the moth or a caterpillar, alright? Or moth or a larva. Same thing. I mean, I think a caterpillar is a butterfly larva, I think. Um, if I'm wrong, just one person just comment and just say so in the comment section. I only need one person to correct me, alright? So make sure that someone else hasn't already corrected me. Because I don't want a million comments saying, no, this isn't a larva is not a caterpillar. A caterpillar is a pupa, or whatever other stages of butterfly life there is. Yeah. But anyway, so he got the moth or caterpillar, larva, and he likes this because because Mothra versus Godzilla from 1964 is one of his favorite Godzilla movies. I've always liked it, but I think it has grown more and more on me as I got older. Kind of the message that it was kind of trying to send. So while I never disliked it, I think within the last year I've kind of understood more and more why he's loved it so much. So I've came to respect the movie even more. His next figure was Jaguar. Now this, I'll be honest, this is one cool guy, okay, and he sadly only got to be in one movie. I mean, I wish Toho would bring him into more movies. I mean, this was pretty much like, I mean, I. He makes me think of Ultraman, and I think he did have some. I think he might have had some influence on Ultraman, but I could be wrong. Anyway, who cares? This guy is really awesome. I mean, in for such an awesome hero, he was only in one movie. Come on, Toho. But anyway, he needs to reappear, and I'm hoping that Toho will make a new series out of after Godzilla's resurgence, and I'm hoping that in that new series, there's a lot of things that I want Toho to do, and I'll probably discuss that in a later video. Okay, let's just say this guy is one of those things. So the next two things that my brother got, Ingear. Now, this is my favorite ally of Godzilla's. Yeah, he's my favorite Godzilla ally. And just nostalgia. You know, my brother got, not the original Ingear from Godzilla Raids Again, but this is like the second generation Ingear from the Shower series. This is the Ingear that appeared from the 60s to the 70s. So this one first appeared in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, and he last appeared in Godzilla vs. Mecha. So I think from 1968 to 1974. So this guy has a lot of nostalgia going for him. So, and I like this suit because of nostalgia. This was the one in Gears that I knew as a little kid. And I'm like, oh, let's go fight Gigan. You know, come on, Gears, let's go beat him up. Okay. So, and I mean, this may not be exactly my favorite suit, but this is the most nostalgic one for me. I mean, and I didn't see Raids Again until I was like 18. Now, this suit is from the Millennium series. This one is from Godzilla Final Wars. And to be honest, I like this suit a little more aesthetically and visually because I don't know, he just looks he looks a little bit more biological. I don't know how to explain it. He looks a little more realistic. He looks a little bit more imposing and scarier too. I Gosh, I feel like they haven't used him in any of the Godzilla games, except for Godzilla Unleashed from the DS. But they didn't use him in the PS4 Godzilla. But that's another story. But yeah, I like this one model visually better than the first two. I don't know, he just looks more natural. I still love this one though, don't get me wrong. Okay, so now to my stuff. Oh, and here's my tag. Yes, my real name in real life is Mason. So you can find me on Facebook. And I'll probably be posting this video. I'll be posting this video on YouTube and Facebook. So, okay. So now to my stuff. See this? I got this shirt, and this shirt means a lot to me because this was the very first Godzilla movie I ever saw. I think I've talked about it in a previous video, but Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla was the first Godzilla movie I saw when I was 7 years old when I first saw it. I love the story, I love the action, the violence, and the blood, and the whole legend with King Caesar. You know, it was just very interesting. It was much darker than many of the other Godzilla movies up to that point. It was just, you know, it kind of brought, it didn't exactly make him anti-nuclear again, you know, because they did that in the Heisei series, but it kind of darkened the franchise up back a little bit. It kind of darkened it a little bit, and I felt like it was a great preparation for when they started the Heisei series, which would be much darker. I liked that it was darker, but he was still a hero. He wasn't even an anti-hero or chaotic neutral. He was still a hero. I love the earlier films, you know, the cheesy ones too, but I mean, like, it's kind of nice to have him be a hero and not have to be cheesy about it. And so, here's this. He gains the power of magnets and never use them again. I guess it was good for the story plot, which, you know, that was a pretty awesome power, though. It's kind of like the new Shin Gojira with laser beams. I'm hoping he gets to do that again, and if he does, I will later discuss what I hoped he does in later films. And here is a book, King Kong, and this, hello kitty, this book talks about the making of the King Kong films, at least the American ones, especially the original and the 2005 remake. Now, please bear in mind that this book was written before the Legendary announced that they would make Skull Island and King Kong vs. Godzilla. Okay, so don't ask, it's not in there. I mean, just a few days ago they just released footage of what the new King Kong will look like. So you guys can wait on that news, all right? The movies haven't came out yet. Chillax. I think it might have the Japanese King Kong films. Yeah, it does. Get off of that, kitty. Stupid. I swear to God, my cat is stupid. I love him though, but oh yeah, it does have the Japanese Godzilla. I mean, the Japanese King Kong films versus Godzilla and Escapes. So yeah, it does have. So yeah, it has pretty much all the King Kong films. So, it's a pretty thick book, and I got it for about 30 bucks. Last but not least, this is one of my favorite things that I got from G-Fest. Da 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 da! Who is that? Who is that? It is the legendary monster Bagan. Now, some of you have heard of him, some of you haven't. So I'm gonna kind of explain. Bagan was the final boss monster in, and I apologize for the glare, but he was the final boss in Super Godzilla on Super Nintendo. Super. So, he was basically he was nearly impossible to beat as regular Godzilla, so you had to transform into Super Godzilla. Because he was that tough. Like a punch would only he starts out at 900 HP. Okay, a punch would bring him down by like 2 points. Atomic breath, maybe 5 points at best, or something like that. So, whereas Bagan's well, a single punch from him would I think take away it would do tons of damage to you. I don't know if it was like a fourth of your life or what. I haven't actually gotten that far in the game. I played an emulator and I can't even beat the first monster. But that's without a game controller, and I think that kind of makes the game harder when you don't have a controller. But so I just want to say thank you to Evan Fisher. Alright, Evan, if you are watching this video, thank you so much, okay? Because you did a really good job at painting this thing. And Bagan is my favorite unused monster. So, Evan, you're a great artist. I hope you make more art, and I hope you become a successful artist. If that's, I mean, and God bless you. Thank you. Bagan is my favorite video game monster. Video game monster being a monster that they've only used in video games out of the Toho Keiju universe. And surprisingly, this video game monster was actually really close to being in Toho films 3 different times. And I will further talk about them in a later video. I will dedicate a video just to Bagan. And I think he's really cool. I know some people in the Keiju community think he's just overrated and are just kind of annoyed because younger people like me kind of talk about. Well, we love him, and I think they think people talk about him too much, and then the older people, like elderly people out of the ones I get on the internet, they're like, "Who the heck is that? Why do we care? Does he even exist?" Yes, he exists, and he was meant to be in 3 different Godzilla films. Now, those films were either scrapped, changed, or drastically changed to where the final film was not remotely close to the original draft at all. Well, one of them. You know what? I'll talk about it later. But yes. So I had a very fun time at G-Fest. This, my friends, was my G-Fest haul. So I'm sorry it took me forever just to make this video. Just with school and college, and as well as amount of space on my phone, it just didn't allow me to make this video until now, which really got on my nerves. it really ticked me off. So, this shirt and name tag, as well as this G-Fest haul, it's all part of my story. So, I hope to go to G-Fest once again in the future. Maybe next year, or even the year after that. Whenever I can. I really want to go to G-Fest again. And now that, especially now that I know what to expect, I can know what to kind of look for. And hopefully I will have seen Shin Godzilla by then, and hopefully get a couple of items regarding Shin Godzilla. So, over and out.